Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Siphumelele Zondi. Tonight we have information on what a Right to Know campaign says about surveillance in South Africa. Uber has a new mapping system that we have info on. We have some cool previews of the year to come in mobile technology as it was revealed at Mobile World Congress. There's also stuff on Nigeria's Kaduna State's first tech hub. Our discussion is about challenges and opportunities that women in tech have. It's with Pink IT's Mbali Songwane. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Use network at sabc.co.za and email. Let's start with your technology and social media news. How many times do you walk on the side of the road unaware of the CCTV cameras filming you? Maybe you punch in your personal details on any website without a care in the world. You could even be sharing details when responding to random messages you receive on your phone. But should you care? The Right to Know research team has released a report that says the business of sharing citizens' personal information is a big one, and South Africans should be aware.
U.S. President Donald Trump's latest Twitter rant accusing former President Barack Obama of wiretapping Trump Towers during the late stages of the presidential election campaign has brought the topic of surveillance under the spotlight yet again. The United States National Security Agency has been under fire for spying on foreign governments and even on U.S. citizens in the past. Here in South Africa, activist, researcher and author Dale McKinsley says that locals could be sleepwalking to a surveillance state.
Put the CCTV camera up. It's going to reduce crime. Given my biometrics, it's going to make it safer. People can't steal my ID as opposed. So I think the driving force in South Africa is this fear of, that we're going to get compromised. Therefore, this new technology is good for us and it's going to make us safer. Unfortunately, there's a flip side to that, which is that with the technology, it makes us more vulnerable, as you mentioned, the United States, because what it does is it gives, let me give an example. Right now, when we go to our banks and our ATMs, we have a card and we have a PIN. We put that in. 2 years down the road, we're going to be iris scans or biometrics to access ATM. If someone steals your fingerprint, you can't replace a fingerprint. You can't replace like a PIN card. So you're going to be in big trouble with identity theft. What if that person then uses your fingerprint to access a whole range of other things? So there are serious concerns around that I don't think South Africans are paying very much attention to.
McKinsey, together with Media Policy and Democracy Project, recently published a report, New Terrains of Privacy in South Africa.
We are one of the few countries in the world that has mandatory SIM card registration. Most other countries have rejected it for privacy concerns. So again, we're giving up huge amounts of information and we're actually opening the back door to all of our cell phones to be possibly surveilled or to be hacked. So there's lots of questions. And what I did was I wanted to look and see what the lay of the land. What kind of protections do we have? Legislation that protects us? Where are the gaps? And what are the areas that we need to be paying attention to?
The report does not only look into South Africa's RICA system, but also unpacks the Protection of Personal Information Act, otherwise known as the POPI.
It hasn't been enforced yet. I'm sure there's going to be many cases that are going to be coming to court and are going to be brought in front of the information regulator to say, for example, that banking institution has been caught selling the database of personal information to another service provider in order to sell you, and you get the spam on your cell phone and in your emails. Come join us, do this, don't you want life insurance, don't you want this service and everything else? How do they get all that information? They sell it to each other. It's a big business. Personal information is a huge business because then they can target you for particular services. That needs to be regulated properly. So what we're saying is South Africans need to start paying attention. We now have a good piece of legislation. We have an information regulator. Let's use them.
Also, Right to Know's co-founder Dale McKinsley added that people can embrace technology, but in a smart way, by being aware of their rights to privacy so that they can better protect themselves.
Uber has introduced technology that will help with improved mapping of Johannesburg, Durban and Cape Town. This is with the hope that it will help drivers get to clients quicker. It's not all cars that will have this device with a pre-installed camera. We spoke to Uber's Alon Litz about this.
We're very excited to say that there are going to be cars in Johannesburg roads. We've had cars in both Cape Town and Durban with cameras. These cars will be collecting information to improve the mapping experience for riders in South Africa. I think there's a constant need within Uber to innovate and improve upon what already exists. So we want to improve upon the pickup experience for both riders and drivers. So we'll be collecting information which will help improve expected arrival times, ensure that riders and drivers are going on the most efficient routes possible, and importantly picking up and improving the pickup experience for riders. It's a combination of our own technology and existing technology that we'll be leveraging. So it's really about having more information to improve upon the pickup experience. For example, what is the optimal point for you to be picked up when you request an Uber on the corner of 3rd and 7th Avenue? So we'll be using the information that the cars are collecting over time to improve upon the ride experience with Uber. We've obviously got partnerships with the likes of Google and TomTom, and we are developing our own technology to improve upon the experience. The more up-to-date the mapping experience is, the better for everyone. At this stage, there are no dedicated mapping vehicles that are going to specific areas. Drivers with the mapping technology on their vehicles are just going to be completing trips in the normal course of business, and as they go about that, the information will be collected.
Mobile World Congress has ended in Barcelona in Spain. Samsung revealed its Galaxy Tab S3 there and said the last 6 months were tough for them. Huawei showed us the upcoming P10. 5G technology and what it can do were also huge talking points.
What we do here is we show how connectivity is changing the face of business and consumer goods today. What we're showing is how the connectivity has evolved from smartphones and tablets now to connectivity into cars, industrials, consumer goods, wearables. All sorts of things are now being connected, and you get a chance to experience them here at the show.
There's been a huge push at this show to try and accelerate the 5G standards, and it seems that because there's been quite a lot of international agreement, we could see the first 5G test networks going live this year. Then we're going to see this enormous race, almost a bit of a kind of global arms race to get 5G out there first. The Chinese want to be first, the Japanese want to be first, the Koreans want to be first, people in Europe want to be first, and in North America a massive push from Verizon and other companies. Starting with 5G in the home, it won't be something you walk around with. It's going to be a bit of a while before you see 5G on a smartphone, but by 2019, 2020 there will definitely be devices out there.
The past 6 months has undoubtedly been one of the most challenging periods in our history. We did not meet the high standards of quality and excellence we set for ourselves, and that consumers have come to expect from us. We're determined to learn every possible lesson, and we recognise that regaining consumer trust can only be earned by actions, not words.
And more importantly, it's about eSIM card and also nano SIM card for your selection. So very meaningful is information that to you that is this phone, this watch can have the same telephone number with your smartphone. That means when you go outside, take sports, you don't need to take your smartphone. You can take your sports watch. This have same telephone number, mobile phone number with your smartphone. It's very convenient for you.
There's a number of medical applications for mobile. For example, diabetic monitors for people who have problems with blood sugar levels. Now we have monitors which monitor their blood levels 24 hours a day through mobile monitor on the person. And this means they can get better treatment and more accurate predictions of problems they have. But not only that, we have ecology demonstrations here, where basically we're showing how we have problems with some wildlife and declining population. We're able to tag the wildlife and find out where the problems are.
Right, let's take a look at news that dominated in the rest of the tech space.
Let's start in the United States of America, where the Snap IPO went smoothly earlier a few days ago. It was the most eagerly awaited technology IPO since Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba went public in 2014. It priced at $17 and opened at $24. In Britain, taxi app Uber has lost the court battle on Friday to stop a London regulator from imposing strict new English reading and writing standards on private hire drivers. The latest setback for the firm, which could mean the loss of thousands of workers. The company took legal action in August after Public Body Transport for London said that the drivers should have to prove their ability to communicate in English, including to a standard of reading and writing, which Uber said was too high. On Friday, a High Court judge rejected Uber's claim. In Japan, robots are to take key roles in dismantling Fukushima's damaged nuclear reactors, crippled by a devastating earthquake and tsunami disaster. This is in order to protect workers from high radiation. Toshiba last year revealed that the latest remote-controlled device, designed to remove debris and spent fuel from the cooling pool in the Reactor 3 of Fukushima's #1 nuclear plant. Workers sitting in the lower radiation areas will be able to operate the robot remotely.
It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Welcome back. Now, there's a growing number of tech hubs across the African continent, but northwest Nigeria did not have one until now. Kaduna State's new tech hub is called the CoLab Nigeria. Tech developers in Kaduna in northern Nigeria can now come here to collaborate. CoLab Nigeria will allow them to share ideas, get internet connection, electricity, and think of new tech solutions to solve everyday social and technological problems. Ifeanyi Mora is a regular here. He is working on an app that will help schools gather and manage their records.
I don't need to think of things I need to run like power and all whatnot. So it provides the space, it provides, things I need to use like power and all that. And I said above all, you have people who have sort of the same skill set that you have, that you can always mine from and share. So it has been so helpful.
Such spaces have become common in cities like Lagos, Johannesburg, Nairobi, and Addis Ababa. Kaduna, where this new space is a former industrial heartland that processed textile and petroleum products. It's also home to farming communities and cattle herders. CoLab founder Sanusi Ismaila wants CoLab to open up the state's economy and draw investment for tech entrepreneurs and startups.
Basically, what we're trying to do is get more people into co-working, get more people into technology, because we feel like technology is one of the single biggest ways to get more people across the poverty line, and especially here in this part of the country. So, we're investing in that, and we feel like where we're based now, which is Kaduna, has everything that a tech ecosystem needs to flourish. It just needs a push, and we're that push, hoping to build a whole technology ecosystem here that can serve other parts of the world, build technology solutions to some of the problems that are acute here.
CoLab offers training sessions on business and access to mentors and workshops to help local entrepreneurs develop their skills. It's also just a cool place to hang out.
We have a couple of Kindles here which have Amazon accounts, so pretty much any book you want. Makes it easy for us because it's you can pretty much get anything and you don't need to keep buying stuff.
Similar spaces in the capital Abuja and the second city Lagos have helped many young people launch their tech businesses. Earlier this year here on Network, we had a story on the enrollment of women into computer science fields in tertiary institutions and found that the numbers remain stagnant. There are growing initiatives encouraging women and girls to get into these fields. Pink IT is a non-profit organization that is aimed at getting more females into computer science careers. They will be partnering with McKinsey and Company in hosting a dinner for women looking to enter the technology sector. Here to tell us more about this is Mbali from Pink IT. Hello and thank you for joining us, Mbali.
Hello.
Mbali, why have you decided at Pink IT to play a role in getting women into tech fields?
I think because it has a huge impact in our lives. So I, Mbali Shongwane, is a software developer by qualification. And our partner, or my co-founder partner, Pink Rudy, is also a software developer. So being in this industry, we actually realized the gap of having not many women actually in the software engineering, yes.
And what would you say the problem is? You guys managed to get in there, but why aren't more women getting in to tech development?
I think with the research we've done, we've actually understood that it has a lot to do with not having many role models in the industry for a female. So it's very hard for you to relate to any other woman who's in the industry. And also the background. So you'd find that in school you might be motivated to be a woman who becomes a software engineer, but when you get home you are told to be a wife and cook and get married. And it also has a lot to do with our schools that we come from. Not exposed to such opportunities and not exposed to such a cause, yes.
Tell us about your journey into getting into your profession.
So my journey is very short. So I just back home was always very interested in computers. Being interested in terms of wanting to know how was this app made, you know, what goes on behind what we actually see. And that's how I actually enrolled into an institution back in Durban and studied and was certified for a systems developer.
Did you find these challenges that you're talking about that women face?
Very much, very much. So one of the things you actually realize is that it's very competitive in terms of, as a woman, you always have to prove yourself. As a woman, you always have to work hard in terms of wanting to be a woman who stays in the industry. Hence, most women actually drop out because they feel like it's a man's industry, and men will make you feel like it's a man's world.
Pink IT now. Can you just tell us about it and the work that's done by Pink IT?
So Pink IT is an NGO, as you had mentioned. We are a community for women in IT, specifically software developers. We host meetups, we host conferences, and we actually work with other initiatives to expose and empower women who are software developers.
And the work that you do, how do you go about doing it? If you say you are trying to expose women, would you be going to townships? Would you be going to tertiary institutions? Do you have information online? How do you go about doing that?
So we have been working on social media, but mostly focusing on university students, exposing them as to, we go out there, get companies who have opportunities for women who are in software engineering, and we try to partner those women with all those opportunities. We work with women who are also early birds. That's somebody who's been working for less than 5 years and feels like, you know what, I feel like I've hit a ceiling with this career. So we try to get them together in a room with women that they can relate to.
And now there's a gala dinner that you have in order to expose women into IT-related fields. Can you just tell us about this gala dinner?
So this dinner is another initiative that we as Pink IT are doing, where we want to expose the girls in our community to the opportunities that are there, show them what it means to be a software developer by actually being in a room with another software developer, and to also get the girls to understand the programs that are happening, expose them to big companies who are always trying to find these girls and recruit these girls for opportunities that exist out there.
Information about it.
So the dinner will be happening on the 16th of March. It's at Emoyeni, 15 Jubilee Road. And we are looking for any woman who is in IT. That is somebody who is a software engineer, somebody who is an architect, somebody who is a business analyst.
Where can they get details if they couldn't get this information? Can they go online maybe?
Of course, thank you. So you can find us on social media. We have posted everything that you need to know about this. You'll find our flyer on social media. On Instagram, we are pink-IT. On Facebook, we are pink-IT. But on Twitter, we are pink-IT_ZA.
All right. Bali Hlongwane from Pink IT, thank you very much for joining us and being a part of our network tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Let's take a short break, and when we return, we will find out more about the Nokia 3310. It's been revealed. It is SABC Network across all social media platforms. Welcome back. Now, the new Nokia 3310 has been revealed. It looks similar to the previous popular phone, but with newer modern features. We went to the streets to find out what some people think of the revamp of this iconic phone. It's all nostalgia for some.
Nostalgia is probably the reason HMD Global is bringing the Nokia 3310 back to the market. Globally, it has been placed at between 6 and 800 Rand, a price that is affordable for many entry-level smartphone users.
At best, in a place like South Africa, no more than 4 people out of every 10 have a smartphone. But there's certainly an aspirational attitude that, is desirous of having something better. So this phone might present an excellent bridge between what people currently have, some because they can't afford anything better, but also what people actually want, which is a smartphone that will give them the world they currently don't enjoy.
HMD Global hasn't said when and if the 3310 will be coming to Africa. Some of those we spoke to seem to have nostalgic memories of the old 3310 and have doubts that the new one will match what they already have.
The design doesn't look proper. They must change it a bit. It must be flat but we trust it. We trust it though. We have it as a second phone. It's a strong phone.
I expect it to be more technologically advanced.
It was a classic phone. And I love the features that they actually have on the new features that they have, but as long as they're always keeping Snake, that's the main thing for me.
If they do bring it to the African continent, they will be facing stiff competition even in that low price range.
The African market, as far as the dumb phone or the feature phone, which is actually quite highly contested. You still have companies like Alcatel doing a lot to give people options in that space. And they'll look at it quite carefully to see whether or not Africa is where you push a feature phone a product, or you push hard as far as the smartphones, which they also have.
The new 3310 comes in various colors, and the once popular Snake game is part of the features of the revamped version.
With some of the reveals at Mobile World Congress being tablets, on Twitter, we asked you if you still buy tablets. Now, 59% of our respondents told us that no, as the phone is all they need. Second to that was the 23% that says yes, as they use tablets quite often. There's 15% who say they have tablets, but they never use them. That's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. We leave you with visuals of robots that are waiters in China. It's newsnetwork@sabc.co.za, an email from me and the rest of the team. Have a good one.